All right, guys, it's my turn. I'm here with Mike Murray, PhD candidate at which school in Oxford?
Lady Margaret Hall.
Lady Margaret Hall?
Yeah.
Can you just tell me a little bit about that? Like, there's different schools that you get into? Like, it's different than the other ones. It's not just Oxford.
Right. So the University of Oxford is made up of 32 different colleges.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The one I'm in, Lady Margaret Hall, was the first college for women.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They didn't allow men until 1979.
Oh, wow.
And it was built in the late 1800s. And you would think that they'd be divided by like department or field of study or whatever. And once upon a time that was the case.
Right.
Now it's just kind of mishmash. And the reason they do that is they think that it's easier to manage 500 students in one area rather than 20,000 across the whole city.
Totally. Okay. Yeah. So it has nothing to do with your study. It's just the group that you got placed in?
Yeah.
Do you know a lot of your cohorts then, or?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah. So,
but they're not necessarily studying anything to do with cosmology and.
No. I mean, you can find like a large population of say like lit majors at a particular school, and there are some schools that have a history of say humanities versus science or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's not distributed that way intentionally.
Right. Okay. So your thesis is, one more time for the camera.
The metaphysics of cosmology and providence in late antiquity, from Plato to Augustine.
Okay, now I'm challenging this. You're explaining that to somebody on the street who's never heard of any of those terms before.
Yeah.
Basically, you're doing what?
So, in very, very plain terms, I'm evaluating the way that people measured and tested what the universe was like. It's where we get our theory of matter, theories about time, including things that have now developed into what's called like quantum theory or quantum relativity. All of that has a history, and most of it has been overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm doing is trying to contemporize these ancient sources and put them in dialogue with modern discussions.
Sweet. And you feel like there's something there, that there's something that these old thinkers and philosophers can actually bring to this current modern conversation.
Absolutely. So I think it's just standard. I don't know if it's mostly in America or the Western world, but at least for my own self, I grew up thinking people from centuries ago just really don't have that much to offer. Mm-hmm. They weren't here for the scientific revolution.
Yeah.
And all, industrial technology.
So how could they?
Yeah. But for example, one of the things I found that was amazing is there's a second century figure, just for example, who has the same view of the universe as Einstein did.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, exact.ly. So
that's insane.
Yeah, it is. And he didn't have any of the tools that an Einstein or even a contemporary physicist would have. He used it purely through reason, deduction, and what science had been developed at the time. So a lot of those methods aren't used today.
Right.
It's still it's still available, but it takes an entirely different background than ordinary science to use those as resources.
Got it.
So
okay, right.
Yeah. So for example, I mean, if you're going to go study, say, astrophysics, you don't have to do any Greek. You don't have to do any Latin. You don't even have to do a whole lot of geometry. You're going to do a lot of like transfinite calculus and things of that nature, right?
Geez.
So like very relevant for contemporary study, but there's a lot of tools available, and only a select few are being used. So that's what I'm trying to say. Hey, here's a broader range of tools we can use, and by leaving them behind, we don't do anything. We don't better serve our scientific interests.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you've just completed your first year.
Yeah.
And how many years is expected?
Yeah, so normally it goes for 3. They allow you to stay for a 4th year without tuition.
Okay.
Which is really nice. The idea there is that you can attend more conferences, network better, and kind of just give yourself a better starting point for entering into the academic community. So,
got it. But it's pretty much expected by the end of that time you'll be completing your thesis.
Be finished with it.
And defending it.
Yeah, defending it. 250 pages, 6 chapters. And
so a book.
Yeah, a book. Yeah, everything counts. I've heard that some people get rejected. Just one page is poorly argued, or one issue isn't well supported, and that can end up in months or sometimes another year of fixing whatever you need to take care of. Yeah.
Got it. And you have an academic mentor here?
Yeah. So my supervisor is fantastic. His name is Mark Edwards.
Excellent.
He specializes in classics, in ancient philosophy, and in early Christianity.
Got it. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I knew he was a big deal. I didn't know how big of a deal he was until I got here. He basically, every academic journal in those fields, he's a co-editor, a vice president, or whatever. Yeah, the whole thing.
Oh, jeez.
And he's chair of the theology department at Christ Church, Oxford, which is another big deal thing.
Gosh.
Previously held by the Archbishop of Canterbury.
Yes.
Yeah. And then prior to that, a guy named Henry Chadwick, who was the first guy in 400 years to head a college at both Oxford and Cambridge. So yeah,
wow.
So I don't even know if that's been done since then. But so that's the chair he's sitting in.
Jeez.
So super intimidating, to walk into that and say, "Hey, I have an idea."
but he's been graceful with you.
Yeah, he's really fantastic.
Yeah.
He what I enjoy most is that he doesn't meet most of your expectations about what an academic would be like.
Sure.
He's very clear. He doesn't use 20-syllable words just to show that he can.
But he does know that.
Yes, he does. He will write that way. But when you're discussing with him, you would still know he's an academic. It just would challenge all of the assumptions one normally has about.
Very good. And at Oxford to boot as well, just the fact that you'd expect even here, like, oh my gosh, the bar is that high, like you kind of expect that there has to be some level of pretension or whatever in a conversation, but it sounds like he's willing to, talk with us mere mortals. Well,
Right.
Maybe me. Mike's not quite a mortal any longer. He's
well, not there. Yeah, I'm definitely
working on Demi. No,
working on demigod. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Anything else you'd want to say about your program or the thesis that you're loving thinking about?
Yeah, I would just say anyone who's interested. I didn't think that I had a shot at all. It's strange to be here. It still doesn't make sense to me. It's a fantastic place. If ever you want to give it a shot, I'd say go for it. You would absolutely love it. And don't count yourself out. Give it a shot.
That's awesome. Thank you, Mike. All right, love you. Bye.